My name is Jess Rose Smith, and I'm a Technology Policy Manager in Ofcom's Online Safety Group. And today I'm going to give an overview of harmful deepfakes and what they mean for online safety. Ofcom is the UK's independent communications regulator, and we oversee several sectors across telecoms, broadcast TV and radio, online video sharing, and post. Ofcom recently became the new regulator for online safety. The UK's Online Safety Act 2023 is a new set of laws that protect children and adults online. They place safety duties on social media companies and search services, and these duties include taking down illegal content and preventing children from accessing harmful content. Ofcom has published draft codes of practice which set out how services can comply with the Act, and we also have a broad range of powers to enforce compliance. But why are we interested in deepfakes? Public concern about deepfakes has increased substantially in recent months. These fears have been stoked by several high-profile incidents, such as the deepfake images of Taylor Swift that went viral on mainstream social media platforms, and a fake audio that purportedly depicted London Mayor Sadiq Khan criticising last year's Armistice Day parades. While these and other well-known cases feature public figures and major institutions, deepfakes are also doing serious harm to ordinary individuals, whether that's being featured in non-consensual sexual deepfake videos or falling victim to deepfake fraudulent adverts. As the new regulator for online safety, Ofcom is committed to doing its part to curtail the circulation of these harmful deepfakes. But to do that, we've needed to have a clear understanding of the type of deepfakes that can be created, the harms they're most likely to be implicated in, their prevalence, and the merits and limitations of different mitigation techniques. So what are deepfakes? Deepfakes can take many forms, encompassing audio, video, and image content. Often they involve showing a real person doing or saying something that they're not. However, they can also depict entirely fictional characters and may be absent of people altogether. So they might present staged events, such as a fake image of a battlefield in a war zone. While some deepfakes consist of wholly new, novel content, others take the form of existing content that has been manipulated. So where a real video has been edited to manipulate a person's mouth movements and dubbed audio has been added in. We identify three main ways that deepfakes can cause harm: those that demean, defraud, and disinform. Deepfakes that demean are created to humiliate or abuse a victim survivor by falsely depicting them in a certain manner or performing a certain act, for example, in sexual activity. The impact of these deepfakes is often devastating, and the intention of the perpetrator may be to abuse or bully a victim survivor, to extort money, or force the victim survivor to share further content. Deepfakes that defraud are used to deceive a target by misrepresenting someone else's identity. They are primarily used to assist fraudulent behavior, such as scam communications and false advertising. And the target of defrauding deepfakes isn't necessarily important, and they can be channeled at multiple individuals simultaneously. Deepfakes that disinform are used to sow distrust or spread disinformation across a large group. Their objectives often are to influence or shape societal opinion on key political or social issues, such as elections, war, religion, or health. However, not all content created by technology is harmful. Synthetic content has many positive benefits, and in online safety, we're seeing it being used to plug gaps in training datasets that are required to build really important forms of safety technology. Synthetic content can also be satirical or comedic. And in our desire to address harmful deepfakes, we really need to be mindful not to undermine the creation of legitimate or innocuous content. Deepfakes do appear to have become more prevalent over time. Ofcom's recent poll on deepfakes found that 43% of adult respondents and 50% of child respondents believed that they'd encountered a deepfake at least once in the last 6 months. And based on the available evidence, it appears that the most common form of deepfake shared online is non-consensual intimate content. Leading campaign group My Image My Choice estimate that there are now over 276,000 videos of this nature circulating on the most popular deepfake sites, with over 4.2 billion total views. The overwhelming majority of this content is thought to feature women. We found, though, that more broadly it can be challenging to accurately quantify the scale and reach of deepfakes. This is because definitions of what constitutes a deepfake can vary, and since deepfakes are designed to be deceptive, many will go undocumented. We found that some major online platforms disclose information on things like the number of fake accounts or the amount of nude or synthetic content that has been identified, but none publish metrics specifically on deepfake content. As such, we've relied on public surveys, third-party research, as well as our own, to understand prevalence, although this often indicates volume rather than the number of user impressions. So why are the number of deepfakes increasing? The first deepfakes were created using two forms of AI that have existed for many years. However, the use of these technologies have been overtaken by the availability of new tools which are powered by generative AI and allow users to create wholly novel content that is significantly more convincing and lifelike. These tools have also made it easier to create deepfakes so that anyone with really modest technical skills can do so. Many generative AI tools are also available free of charge, and this means that they have been used by a wide group of actors, including schoolchildren who have been found to be creating sexual deepfakes of one another. Another important driver behind the increase in deepfakes online is the growth of what we have called the deepfakes economy. This consists of a number of elements. Firstly, individual creators offering to create deepfakes for very small sums of money. Second, the launch of user-friendly apps that serves to make generative AI models even more accessible and can include standalone chatbots and so-called nudification apps. Added to this is the proliferation of websites that are dedicated to hosted deepfake content and which share manuals that explain how to create such content. These can also be easily accessed through search engines. So what can be done to address deepfakes? Addressing them is likely to require action from all actors in the supply chain, from the developers that create generative AI models and related tools to the platforms that host this technology and user-facing services that act as spaces for deepfake content to be shared and amplified. But in our research, we identified 4 main routes for actors to mitigate deepfakes. Prevention involves efforts to limit the creation of harmful deepfakes, and this can include adopting filters to prevent models being able to create certain types of content, like nude content. Embedding involves attaching contextual information to synthetic media through tools like watermarks and labels. Many organizations have started to sign up to various content provenance and authenticity schemes. Detection encompasses efforts to distinguish real from fake content. One means of detecting deepfakes is by using machine learning classifiers that have been trained on known deepfake content. And finally, enforcement involves setting clear rules about the types of synthetic content that are allowed to be created and shared on online services. It also requires acting against users that breach these rules, for example, through suspending or removing user accounts. All of the above interventions show promise in helping to mitigate the creation and spread of harmful deepfakes, but it's important to acknowledge their limitations and weak spots. Prevention measures like prompt filters, for example, need to be used carefully to avoid blocking the creation of legitimate content like political satire. Some embedding techniques won't meaningfully address the harms created by demeaning deepfakes. They may also be fragile and susceptible to removal by bad actors. As such, it's important that actors across the supply chain will need to consider how they can deploy these interventions collectively as part of an integrated mitigation strategy. Under the Online Safety Act, regulated services, whether they're social media platforms, video sharing sites, or search engines, have a duty to tackle certain types of deepfakes. In our draft codes of practice, we set out measures that will help services to tackle deepfakes which are illegal or harmful for children. And these include things like content moderation measures, which require services to set out performance targets to adequately resource their teams, and also to provide training on how to identify and take down such illegal content. But our ambition is always to go further. Over the next year, we will examine in more detail the merits and limitations of the measures we've discussed in our research, such as the use of hashing or forensic techniques for deepfake detection. As part of this work, we also could consider whether any of the measures could be included in future code of practice or guidance. We've also published the results of a separate investigation we've undertaken into red teaming, which is a type of evaluation for AI models. We continue to explore how users experience deepfakes online and are engaging with the UK government to discuss whether we need greater powers to tackle online harms. And of course, we continue to engage widely with experts and would very much welcome your feedback on any of the areas covered. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your session.